good morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are. Ooh, I'm a little late. Barely. I just hopped up a Zoom call and I'm literally hopping right on with you guys. I'm excited about today's project and I'm hoping that you guys are ready to be started. But you're ready to be started. I hope you guys are ready to start. If you guys will do me a favor, you know what? It might be helpful if I put my mic on. If you guys are here, if you can just say, "Hey, how you doing?" and let me know where you're from. That would be awesome. That way I can know if I'm in the right places. Oh, thank you so much, Flea. I know you say it's your birthday. No, I'm just kidding. It is my birthday today. I am 56. That went by so fast. I cannot believe it. Um, I don't know if I'm supposed to share news. Wait, let me check and see. Um, I'm gonna ask real quick. I'm gonna ask, and then I'll let you guys know the news if I can share it. We'll see. Something really exciting is coming up pretty soon. Hey, is it Creek? Okay, girl, you're gonna have to help me out with that one. Hey Sylvia, thank you guys so much. I'm excited for today's project. I've started some prep work. I'm trying to figure out like what we're actually gonna use today. So I am oh that I don't want to overwhelm you guys or think that it has to be difficult. And so I'm trying to tell myself to keep it simple. Kiss, right? Keep it simple. Um, and oh, I have paintbrushes here. Phew, I was going to panic, but I'm good. So yesterday, you guys, what we did was we took some decoupage paper, right? So we have a canvas bag is what we're working on. And you know what? I need to back this. Oh, I'm not doing it. Oh wow. Very interesting. It's okay. So this is a canvas bag that we're working on and we decoupaged on it yesterday. So the first step was to mix our GAC 900, which is a fabric medium for acrylic paints. And I mixed it white and I put down a layer, let it dry, and I ironed it. Once that was done, we went over and we decoupaged some pieces. So this piece is from the paintable floral. I have a piece here from the Music Sheets masterboard. I believe this little birdie was from one of the fall paintable designs. And then we have a subject from the photography masterboard. So various papers, right, that we've done. I have taken the liberty. This was the stencil that I made for the Royce Cycles retreat last year. And we had kind of like a color swatch here. So I have taken the liberty of just tracing 2 rows here so that we can keep track of the colors that we're using them. And that'll become part of um, the artwork will be our color swatches that we're going to use. So before we start, I've been trying to clean off all the extra stuff from my table. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. Um, thank you, Beth. Hey, Isabel, thank you for joining us from Georgia. Um, so I have today what I plan to use. We have acrylic paints, and we're going to go over colors in just a moment. I started mixing each of my paint with some GAC 900, but I'll need to finish doing that really quickly before we start painting. And today, you guys, we're going to work with primary colors. But I've chosen some different primary colors. So instead of just using red, blue, and yellow, what we're going to use is a magenta, is what I'm replacing my red with. And my blue, I'm going to replace with a turquoise. So it's still primary, it's still the 3 primary colors, but so my basic color story is going to be the magenta and the turquoise, but we're going to have some other colors. So we have our yellow, turquoise, and magenta is going to act as our three primaries. I will be including some paints, and that'll be like our darkest color that we're going to use. And then I have some transparent white is what we'll also be using. So these will be our primary colors that we'll be using, but I'll be mixing these colors at different points so that we have variety and we don't want everything to be the same color. This is my basic colors, my the magenta and the turquoise, but we're going to use all these colors for the whole piece. So I want to I've been trying to work ahead and get these mixed, but I didn't quite do it. So we're going to have to do it together. So I mixed some yellow, and all I'm doing is I'm mixing it with the GAC so that my tote is going to be a little, but if I do layers and layers of acrylic paint full strength, then I risk it being so thick that it cracks, and we don't want it to crack, right? Hey Carolyn, hey Tara. Um so I'm just mixing these and I'm eyeballing it, you guys. It's about 50-50 roughly. And I don't want to break the emulsion of my paint completely. Right? I don't want it to be watery. I still want it to have some substance. And so that's what I'm thinking about when I'm mixing it. And I have a stick here. What did I do with it? I'm using a stick to stir my paint so that I don't want to pollute or cross contaminate my colors. You guys know every time you mix a color like a pure pigment with another color, you neutralize it a little bit. And if you mix complements together, you neutralize it a lot, which isn't always bad. But I think sometimes when your colors get muddy, it may be because you're mixing together colors that are always going to like neutralize each other or make each other muddy. And if you guys would like to learn more about mixing your own colors, about how colors work, because it is not always the way that you think, I do have a crafting and color class at roycycledacademy.com that is available. And actually, I should have done it before I came on today. Today is my birthday. So for my birthday, I will be offering a 20% discount on all my courses, but I haven't programmed it yet. So don't go yet. I'm going to put a post up in a little while. So if you haven't taken a course and you've been curious, today might be the day. So isn't that just a gorgeous color? I love it a lot. And I hate to waste this, but I am because I don't have anywhere to put this blue right now, this second. So I am just mixing some acrylic paint with GAC 900, which is a fabric medium, so that we can paint and not have our paints be too thick so that they don't crack over time. I better mix a little bit more magenta. Oh no, Paige, I'm so sorry to hear that. Um, Thank you, Susie. Oh, good, Carolyn. I hope you enjoyed it. Right? And color just doesn't always work the way we think it works. It's really weird. When I started learning, I was like, oh wow, no wonder, you know, my yellow turns green when I add black, right? Okay. So I'm just gonna mix. I probably should not be working over my project, just saying, but y'all know I'm hard headed. So don't do this. As a matter of fact, I'll just put this here because that's not smart. When Sonnet sent me her box, she sent me a little whisk. I sure would. That would be like really handy right now. But y'all know I don't know where it is. I don't know where it is. So we're going to use this. It'll be fine. It's not completely mixed, but when I get my brush and I'm ready to paint, I can like mush that together a little bit more. And I did get paint on my piece. Bag nabbit. So we have our three primaries. And then my Payne's gray is kind of thin already. Which is fine. Actually. You guys ever notice how darker colors are generally transparent? Okay, so that's that. And then I already have some white mixed up from yesterday. Um, and this is actually, oh no, this is not transparent though. Una mas. Okay. So I do, it's important to me that my white today is transparent. Actually it's gonna be good. I'll have opaque white, but we'll also have transparent white because the whole thing about the recycled paintable decoupage papers is that all you have to do is add transparent color and the design does all of the heavy lifting for you, meaning all of the shadows and the highlights are already there and you don't have to think about it. You can just go over it with a transparent color and not worry about it. Now if you wanted to kick it up a notch, you could go in and intentionally add some additional highlights on top of the highlights that are there, which we may do depending on how much time we have today, and or add like a dark transparent colors to the places where there's a deep shadow. It is completely up to you. And I'm using transparent colors right now is because I really want to get you guys to start using the paper. I'm being geeky. If I can get you guys to get confident about using transparent colors, then we can start moving into opaque colors, which are colors that you can't see through. And you guys can literally just use the lines as a map for your own color application. And so when we're working in transparent, we're going to work from light to dark, which is different. When you're working in opaques, you generally work from dark to light. So, oh, I don't have a lid for that, but I think we're okay. Okay. And let me write myself a note on this one so I do not make a mistake. This is the opaque white. So we're going to put an O on there. So I'll remember that. All righty. So before we get started, I do want to do a little bit of stamping. I set my stamps down and they kind of stamped on their own. And I just pulled out these. I think these are from Ranger. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure. And I just figured I'd go in and just put them in. I don't need them to be perfect because they're literally just going to be for background texture. Some of it will get painted over. Some of it will be peeking through. The thing about creating is you guys know how you see a piece of art and your heart just responds to it. You may be responding to something that you don't even see, like like consciously or visually see in that piece. Because most artists are laying down a bunch of different layers before they get to the final layer. And so a lot of you give me a hard time because I'll put something down and then I'll cover it up. But it's still there and it still gives interest to your piece. And so we're going to do a little bit of that. And then we'll do more stamping at the end because we have our cracklier stamp, right? We love crackle. So we're going to add it to this project, but we can't use a two-step crackle for this because it's fabric and we don't want it like chipping off. So this is just a piece of my mat that I have here that I've cut. And I'm just going to load up my brayer and we're going to stamp. Now I'm stamping on fabric. It's sealed fabric, but it's still fabric. So I'm going to be pretty generous with my ink when I load my stamp. And hopefully, well, it's fine. And again, I'm not expecting that this is going to, it may show through. There may be a number or something that peeks through because we are using a lot of transparent colors, but I'm not like expecting this, right? To peek through. So these are all just different kind of alphas. You guys know I love topography. So any chance I have to add it, um, I'm going to do it. And so I'm pressing it down to make sure there's good contact. And then I like to leave my stamp sitting for a few minutes. In my holy imagination, the ink is being absorbed into the surface, right? I think that right there is good. And I love using a brayer with my stamps because I feel like I always get the right amount of ink on them when I use my brayer. Make sure there's good contact between the stamp and my surface. And then what we're going to do is add a little heat to these to make sure, and I don't need them to be perfect, but it's just like texture under there, right? I was going to put this one here, but I have my squares there. So I think that's good. Should I put one right there? No. I think I'm actually, no. I think that's good. That one didn't stamp as well, but again, it's just going to be texture. And some of it, there may be a part of that 6 that shows, or a part of, I wish there is a 7 right there. I love the number 7. So I'm going to apply some heat to this. So I'm not just drying this ink. I'm actually using the heat from my dryer so that the ink sets, because we don't want it moving all around when it's time to. This one is just a circle, and I do actually want to use that. Okay. So that's all just going to serve as texture in the background of my piece. Hey, Karen. Thank you, Chris. So, let's see. Paige has a really good question. She's asking, how do you know if it's a transparent color? So if you're working with like, I think most of the like acrylic paint companies, they have these on here. So like this blue, you see how it's half and half? Hold on, let me see if I can get it to like, it's white. So you guys see how that square is half and half? That's because this is semi-transparent, right? So it's like saying it's half transparent and half not transparent. This one is completely open. This square on this one is, you guys see that? It's because it's completely transparent. And like, I put away all my opaque colors so I wouldn't pick them up accidentally. But if you had an opaque paint, it would be totally black in the middle. That square would be black. So it wouldn't be half and half. It wouldn't be empty. It would be completely black. If you're using paints that don't have indicators on them, then you can just paint a swatch and you can look at it. If you can see through it, then it's transparent or semi-transparent. If you can't see through it and it's solid, that means it's opaque. Carolyn says she could have sworn she had got right. You guys ever go looking like I'm like, I'll see something on a video and I'm like, I could have sworn I bought that. Look, the last time I saw a video, it's somewhere, but I can't find it. I have multiples of stuff because I put it away and then I can't find it. And sometimes in my mind, what I'm visualizing it looks like is wrong. So, like honestly, the GAC 900, I was visualizing it in a tall jar, like kind of like this with a big spout on it. But when I found it, it's a short, squatty jar. So I was looking for one thing, right, and it just didn't look the way I thought it looked. So sometimes that can be it when you're looking for something. So, if you're new here, I'm sorry. My name is Royce Hunt Bell. I'm the founder, owner, and operator of Roycycled. Here at Roycycled, we empower creation through supplying quality craft supplies, instruction, inspiration, and encouragement. So, welcome. And whether you're creating for your heart, for your home, or even for your business, you are absolutely welcomed here. I am doing quick crafts, although none of them are quick, just so you know. That's a whole nother story. Um, but I am monitoring the comments, but not as closely as we do like on Sunday Night Lives when I have David here to help because I'm trying to stay focused. So if you have a question, I will get to it. Even if I don't answer it during the live, I will answer it later. Oh no, not in storage. I'm so excited, you guys. I hope you guys will be here tomorrow morning because I will be revealing the new recycled decoupage paper design, the spring designs. There are seven. There's not a ton. There are seven. Um, and I like them. I hope you guys like them because I like them a lot. So that'll be tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll be showing you guys those the new papers, and then we'll do a project with them. I'm trying to get my stuff together. I saw some bottles on Pinterest and I have like a ton of bottles. And so I collected my bottles, but I want to anyways, I have plans. I have plans, you guys. And I am so pitiful. Over there, there is a stash of projects that in the beginning, when I made a commitment to go live every day with you guys, I got a bunch of stuff and I've already prepped it and I've already primed it and it's there and it's ready to go. Am I pulling from that stuff every day? No. Why would I do that? That would be easy. I'm thinking of new stuff and then I'm running around prepping for that every day because I'm crazy. Why can't I get you on a full page? Sharon, are you on Facebook? Beth, girl, yes, you have to learn. And I some of these young girls need to understand that tights and leggings are two different things and that tights are not as opaque as leggings, especially when you're bending over. Just saying. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just one way today, so I don't have the vertical. I it just my program just decided that I didn't need that today. So I am just horizontal. I'm not vertical today. Okay, I think that ink is set. So we can get to the fun part. Let's start painting. So let me check my note to see if I can tell you guys my secret. I didn't get an answer yet. Okay. I can't tell you yet until I get an answer. So let's start with our flower. And I have my magenta here. And even though I mixed my colors, I'm still going to be mixing them. Like to me, one of the things that makes um, a picture beautiful is having diversity. So I don't want to have like the same color of magenta all over my flower. I still want there to be variations. So I'm still going to be using my palette. I just use my cups so that I could mix my colors. And adding in the GAC 900 too is going to help with the transparency because, like, the blue is semi transparent, right? It's not completely transparent. So it's going to be more transparent. Do you guys see my lid? I just took it off. Mm, mm, mm. Oh, it's right there. And again, our color story today is going to be primarily the magenta and the turquoise. Um, oh, that one is mixed up really well. And you guys notice when you start painting, like you never need as much paint as you think you need. Is that the, oh no, that's not even a turquoise. That's the Payne's gray. It was just thinned out. Well, hell's bells. This is the turquoise. I was going to say that's not very pretty. This is a little thick. I may want to add some more. GAC 900 to that, or I can just apply it really thinly too. That's fine. I don't want to mix my colors. That's why I'm using different brushes, but I think I may have run out of brushes. Maybe not. Maybe not. Can you guys see that? You guys can see that. And so by having primary colors, I can theoretically mix whatever color I need at any given moment. So this is a transparent white, which I like using anyways when I'm mixing colors. So I've been working in a lot of pinks. I don't know what's up with that. I think it's my granddaughter's fault. She's like turned on a pink button in me or something. I'm not sure. Oh, and I do have a little bit of fluorescent pink here. Um, Somebody I had posted one of my universal beauties, and somebody asked me if I was using what do you call them? They thought I was using a different product, but I think it's that hot pink is what threw them off a little bit. And I use it subtly. I don't use a lot of it, but I do use a little bit of it, and it does add a lot to my projects, to my paintings. What do you call sock? She thought I was using pastels. That's what it was. So I'm gonna go in and let's see. I can start with this one, and this is the same thing we did with the. That's a little stronger than I want. Let's add a little bit of that white. And I can even add a little bit more of my pink is a hard color because like I want to do a light pink. Um, but most of the time you're adding white and white is opaque, right? So then if you don't want to do an opaque pink, you're kind of stuck. So we know that when you're mixing a light color and a really dark color, that all you need is a little bit of the dark color and it's really going to influence that light color a lot. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pink in there and you see how quickly it influenced my white. And so that's better. But because I'm using a transparent white, I'm able to make or create um, a lighter pink that still maintains its transparency. And if I were, I grabbed any brushes. I meant to talk about brushes with you guys today, because brushes do matter. Like honestly, if I were wanting to make my life easier, I'd want to use a brush that was shaped like my flowers. So like this brush is round. It would be a lot easier for me, right? Around the edges with a round brush instead of with a square brush. So I didn't plan well, but it's okay. And this isn't a good brush for picking up. And then places where I see that it are really light, I can go in and just kind of pick up that color so that I can maintain highlights. I don't want a ton of the really high highlights, but keeping some really does add to your project. And so I've had the same color this whole time. So when I go back in, I'm going to mess around. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow. So it's not the exact same color every time. So I'm going to add some variation, even just in my flower. And where is my, just put a little bit of yellow in there. And I'm still following my petals, the direction that they're going. I'm not just putting down a big blob of color. I do think it matters when you do it this way. That way, if you have any brush marks, they make sense. And I can add a little bit of white this time, make it a little bit lighter than it was the last time. See what I'm saying? So I'm still using the same color, but every time I go in, I'm just tweaking it a little bit, just so I can have variation in my flowers and my petals don't always look the same. Because if you look at flowers in nature, right, every petal's not the same. And I am going to go and just pick up color. And I'm not worried about all the highlights, but just some. It just really breathes life into um, your project when you maintain a few of those highlights. And you see I'm kind of skipping around too. So this color and this color are the same, but they're not right next to each other. And so I'm just picking up, I'm even going to pick up a little bit of this blue, although I got to be careful because that's going to change it a lot. Add a little bit more white. I'm going to put my GAC over here too because I can like kind of dip my brush in there to thin my paint out. And then I go on the next section. And so every time I go to load my brush, I am just tweaking my color just a little bit. And if you guys are just hopping on, we are painting. Yesterday, we decoupaged a canvas bag. And one of the designs we used was the paintable floral from Royce Treasures. And so today, we're going to paint our bag. And this was all sparked by Anthropology has these bags that they make out of old paintings. And so I went down a bit of a rabbit hole. And so we're going to create our own piece of art on our canvas bag. And it's probably not going to be as much money as it is at Anthropologies. Although I am going to be keeping my eye open for old paintings at the thrift store, y'all. I see them sometimes at my shop and I don't pick them up. But now I will be picking them up and I will save them and I will bring them home and I will probably put them somewhere and say I'm going to make a purse. If we're being honest. But I really do want one. So I might find somebody who sews. I know a lot of quilting ladies who are really talented. I bet they could help me out. Okay. So I think, and you guys see, like, it's so easy because all of the shading that's underneath is what's doing all the work for you. I'm using a little bit of my GAC to pick up some of that dark pink because I don't like that there. So I'm just going to pick that up a little bit. It hasn't like set long enough to be there permanently. And so I'm going to go in and kind of pick that up a bit. And then I'll use my brush. And where I'm picking up paint is where there's nothing. So this flower has lines in different places, but there are places where there isn't anything. It's just white. And that's how I know that a highlight would go there. And so those are the places where I'm going in and I am picking up, criminies, I dropped the brush. And I'm picking up paint and I'm just dipping it into my GAC and then going in and just picking it up. And just those highlights, there is just something about having them that makes it feel more alive. I like it a lot. And by mixing a little bit of the yellow into my pink, I'm also solving another problem. So I'm going to go into this middle right here and I'm going to make it yellow. And I'm going to mix a little bit, not a ton, of the pink into my yellow. And that's going to help my colors be cohesive. That's going to help them to go together. Because the last thing you want is to paint a color, put a color down, and then it feels weird against the other colors that you're using. And so mixing a little bit of the colors into each other is like a really sneaky way to be able to make everything feel and look cohesive. And this is a kind of project that you can get lost in, right? Just carve out some time for yourself. And I know for a lot of you, or it's freezing outside, you have time for yourself. So doing something like this can really help you just kind of zone out and create. People are calling me. And I'm like, you know how when we were younger and we would sit in front of, I don't know about you guys, but I would be laid belly down on Saturday morning in front of the TV, watching Hanna-Barbera cartoons and coloring in my coloring books. That's what this reminds me of. And that's essentially what we're doing, right? And you guys see me use paint a lot, but honestly, you can use colored pencils on these too, and that would be just as good. So, I'm trying to keep my brushes. I have my turquoise here, and I'm going to make a green, and this green is going to be really bright because this turquoise is a lot brighter than a regular blue would be. And so I know that this blue is a lot darker than the yellow. And so I'm going to go in with just a little bit of blue and I'm going to pick up a lot of yellow and I'm probably still too heavy. It's still really blue, right? I may have to pour some more yellow in here. And it's because my brush is full of paint. Let me clean that. My brush is full of blue paint, so it's causing me problems. So I'm going to clean that out a little bit so that I can get, oh man, I picked up some Payne's Gray. We don't want to do that. So you see how bright that green is? Like it's really, really bright. So if I look at my color wheel, I know that the opposite of green is red. And red is just pink, right? It's just a lighter color. It's the same. So in order for me to tone down this green, I'm going to add in a little bit of this pink and that's going to neutralize it a little bit. And it's also going to make it so that it looks good against this pink because it has a little pink in there. And I'm going to do the same thing with my leaves that I did with the pink part of my flower, which is I'm going to paint some leaves. I'm not going to do like a whole clump one color. I'm going to move around until my brush is almost empty. And when I go back, I'm gonna like pick up some more yellow, right? So I'm modifying that color just a little bit. And maybe when I go back this time, I'm gonna pick up some more white. So now this green is gonna be a little lighter. So that way my leaves aren't like all the exact same color. I'm just adding in some variety. And it's not a huge difference, but it's just a little difference. So everything isn't like exactly the same every single time. You know what, Beth? When I said that, I was thinking about that. Do you still have that picture, Beth? I need to go back. I bet you I do because I never delete a picture, girl. I am terrible about that. So I'm sure I have the selfie that we took. You guys, we went to Carmen's retreat and Beth got me in trouble. It was all her fault because she was talking during the instruction, not me. It was all her. Do you guys believe me? And there are some of these leaves that have really big highlights. And so I'm going to go in. Whoops, I put yellow in my stuff. And I am going to just pick up where I see those big highlights before my paint sets. And so the reason why the leaves look curved is because the bright parts are coming out at you and the darker parts are receding. So now this leaf, for instance, looks like it's curving around because this light part right here is actually expanding and coming out while the darker areas are receding visually, right? And so that's why I like to keep some of those highlights really bright. And go back in, I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow, maybe some more pink. I think I'm gonna add some dark pink in this one. We're gonna do some really neutral leaves to contrast with the ones that are kind of bright. Maybe these leaves have been here longer. They're a little older, so they're not as bright. And it looks like I missed a flower. I feel like that one should be bright though, because that's on like a baby leaf. I mean, what am I trying to say? This part of the plant is really young, right? So this leaf would be brighter. If you guys have any questions, I will try to answer them. I don't know if I have all the answers, but I know some stuff. You guys will notice every single time I go back in to load my brush, I'm tweaking my color a little bit. And it looks like I missed some flower there. So let me. I should just clean all these brushes and just wash them and use them when I need them instead of trying to keep a brush for a color. That would actually make more sense, wouldn't it? I know I have a round brush in here. Actually, my favorite brush to use, like when I'm painting flowers, is an angled brush. This one has seen better days. Um, let's see. Let's pick up a little bit of this yellow. And it looks like I missed a few. Okay. And so, oops, I gotta do these. I want to see. All those are going in the water because they're just making a mess. I picked up a little bit of that fluorescent pink for this one because it's a youngin', right? And I want that one to be a little bit different. So I'm going to pick up some more of that pink. So you guys get the picture. Just, I don't know. Every time you go in, you're just going to mix up something new. And I'm supposed to be keeping track of my colors, aren't I? And if I go outside of the line a little bit, I'm not worried about it. It actually wipes up pretty good because we've covered our surface. So it's not super absorbent, but let's take a little bit time to paint our swatches over here. And I just like doing this. I cannot tell a lie. So I'm going to put like the pure color in a couple of these swatches, like before we mix them with anything. So we'll use the first line. Actually, oh man, I didn't follow my own rules. I should have started with the darkest color. It's okay. It's okay. It'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. And even when it's not fine, it's fine. But our darkest color that we have here is our paint gray. And I'm going right over that leaf. We're just going to ignore it's there. And that color right there really should be like white. Not white, but I guess I could make it a light pink. We'll do a light pink right there. So Payne's gray is our darkest color. And then I'm going to put down some turquoise. Am I boring you guys to death yet? Oh, thank you, Lynn. You know, it's interesting how we all learn different, right? And I remember my mom used to get, I used to frustrate my mom so much because I would just want to know why, but why, but why? I know she wanted to pinch me. So I did the blue, I did the turquoise, and I'm going to put the yellow down here. The yellow really should have been our lightest color. You guys know, so white is basically the absence of color, right? So the lightest color, and when we say color, you guys know there's like 50 million 11 yellows, right? It's just like an area on a spectrum of light. So the lightest spectrum of light is yellow. And then after that, of course, is white. So this is technically the lightest color, is yellow. And then I'm going to put my pink right here. And this should be lighter. Let's make it even lighter. Oh, Lord. I'm painting all outside the lines. I'm fired. My brother used to make me so mad because he would just get my coloring books and color all over the place. And he wouldn't even outline his stuff first. Just color. What are you doing? Okay. So this is my colors that I'm using. And then what I should be doing is as I'm mixing colors, or not should, but what's fun to do is as you're mixing colors, you can put those colors here too. So like the green that I mixed, although I don't know if I have any left. And if you're painting and you're finding that your colors are getting really muddy and you're not sure what's going on, it may be that you contaminated your colors. So a lot of times you think your brush is clean, but there can still be paint up here. And if there is, so let's say we know that pink and our blue are on the opposite sides of the color wheel. So they basically they cancel each other out, so they neutralize each other. So if I'm working with my red and I'm like, why is it so dull? Why isn't it vibrant? It may be that I still have blue trapped in my brush. And so that's why I was trying to keep my brushes separated, but that's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. Oh, I should put my fluorescent pink on here, huh? That's a color that we're using. That's a surprise color. I do like to use it sparingly, but I do like to use it. And it can really give color life too. Like you add a little bit of that fluorescent pink, and all of a sudden your soft pink that you have, instead of being like, I don't know, dull, it's vibrant, even though it's light, right? I mean, you can use it at full if you want to, but you don't have to. I kind of want those to be a little bit more vibrant than they are. Okay. And you could also use like a toothpick or something, a toothpick, a Q-tip, if you want it to go in to remove color from those areas as well. So I'm going to get off that flower. We're going to leave it alone. Now let's start painting around our subjects because we want to bring everything together. Oh, we have our birdie, huh? What color should we make our birdie? Because I don't want to make him the same colors as maybe we've used the turquoise in here, but there isn't any turquoise here. The background is going to be a light turquoise, and we have a lot of green. So what's left? Maybe yellow? Should we make them yellow? Hi Sharon. Yes, the replay will be available on YouTube. You can watch it there. It's also available on Facebook for like 30 days. Um, oh, the nerve of him, right? Right. And then he had G.I. Joe, right? Why do you have to mess with my stuff? Like why? A bluebird? We could make him a bluebird. We could do blue and yellow. That's a nice combination. Let's do his belly yellow. Um, and I don't want to use a super bright yellow. So if I look at my color wheel, yellow, and the color violet is what's gonna neutralize my yellow for me a little bit. And I feel like my pink is kind of a purpley color. I could add a little blue if I need to. So I am going to, I almost feel like I need a new palette. We'll move it over here. And I'm just gonna add like a teeny bit of this. It's not gonna take much. And a teeny bit of this. And I'm gonna add that and see if we can neutralize that yellow just a little bit so it's not like cartoony bright. And if you're mixing your colors, always think about the complement. See, I have a green. So like if we look, my yellow, I've turned it green. So it's like, okay, it's green. Don't panic. What's the opposite of green? Red. So I'm going to add some more pink. And then that's going to neutralize green and make it more neutralized. But I do think more yellow is needed here. I don't want to add too much red because then it's going to make it too dark. I want it to be bright. Okay, I have my mud and I'm going to add a little bit of mud to a lot of yellow. And let's see what we get. I guess he's going to be light green because that is just what, I guess I could add some white. I'm running out of room over here on my palette, y'all. And you see me drying off my brush, it's because I want to maintain control. If I go over here with a big old glob of paint all full on my brush, and I don't have a lot of control of how it's laid on there. So his belly looks like it's kind of light. So we'll go in and we'll paint his belly. He'll be a yellow belly. And let's see, what do I want to do? I'm running out of colors, I feel like. Because I don't want to paint him like brown. Like I don't want to do that. I want my bird. And I know somebody's a bird watcher. And you're going, Royce, that is not the color of that bird. I don't care. I don't care about what color he's supposed to be. We're just gonna paint him so he's purty. I'll put some yellow on his head. And then there's like a little spot on his tail right here. I'll paint that yellow. That way we've kind of moved that yellow all through him. And then we'll pick another color. I do think the turquoise is pretty and his wings are dark, right? Because there's a really dark color. So let's go in with the turquoise. I think that will be fun. And even though there isn't any turquoise here, we know that we've mixed this color in with these other colors. So he'll still look good with those. Um, and I'm just going to kind of put that anywhere where I see it's dark. Even his head right here where it's black, we're going to make those lines turquoise. So Julie, I'm actually not using ink. This is just acrylic paint, but I've mixed it with GAC 900, which is a medium that you can mix into your paint if you want to paint fabric. So this way your paints are thinned out so that they don't crack on your fabric once it dries. And since we're working on a canvas bag, we did not want that to happen. I kind of think we should use orange. Now we don't have orange anywhere else, but we're gonna cheat. Let me get look at my poor paper towel, y'all. It's done. We don't have any orange anywhere, but we can mix the colors that we've been using to make an orange, and it'll still look good. So I'm gonna take some yellow. I'm running out of space. We'll do some yellow. We know that yellow and red. See that green? It's because I had color in my brush. I still had turquoise in my brush. That's no way no. So I don't want to use that now because I've contaminated it. So I'm gonna wipe that up. Okay. So I'm gonna get some fresh yellow and we're gonna mix it with a little bit of this. And remember, it only takes a little bit of color to influence, right? The darker color is really gonna influence this really, really quickly. So you want to start out with just a little bit. And we're going to use the colors that we've been using to make our orange. So it'll still look like it goes together. And I'm going to put a little bit of this fluorescent pink in here. So that it's happy. It's a lot like the body, huh? Should I add a little bit something more in there? Let's make that a little bit darker. And so, like, I'm literally just picking colors and laying it on here because that's all I have to worry about. I don't have to worry about shading or anything. This is literally like coloring your books when you didn't care what colors went together or what was what, right? Before we got all like, I don't know, adulty. I'm mixing a lot of, sorry, I'm under my picture here. I'm gonna mix a lot of this fluorescent into this color over here to create something really bright. And I'm gonna put that on her. She's wearing lipstick. It's not that different though, is it? Maybe I should just use the fluorescent by itself. No, that would be too much. Oh, let's put some of that down here. And again, I don't know what color this bird is supposed to be, but this is what color my bird is. And then his underbelly, we'll put a little bit of that dark color here. Okay, so that is my birdie. Ooh, I like him. And so she is done. So now I'm going to just dry this really quickly. And then we can go in and we can start adding paint in between all of our elements so that we can marry all of our pieces together. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Verla. I don't know. It's done. Let me see. You guys like my birdie? He's not following any rules. He's just, chilling. Or she. I don't know. I don't like that beak. I wonder if I could make the beak. I mean, not that I don't like it, but I feel like it's not standing out enough. I feel so bad because I didn't make sure I had brushes that I wanted. So let's see if we can add a little bit of this color, maybe. Oh, maybe if I add, what's that? That's gonna, mm, meh. Let's go ahead and give her some lipstick for real. I like that better. Now the beak can stand out a little bit. So let's dry everything and then we're going to go in and paint in between our spaces so we can marry all of our elements and they can all look like they go together. I kind of forgot about my leaves. I really don't care to do details. You guys should see me. I'm working on my painting right now and I'm at the detail stage. It takes so much like how do you say discipline for me to sit down and finish it. I'm going to finish it though. And I have this yellow over here that's kind of green. So I'm just mixing in some more blue, a little bit of that red to neutralize it a little bit. And the thing about mixing colors, you guys, is once you start doing it, you almost don't have to think about it anymore. And that's one of the beauties of learning is because once you learn it and you kind of file it away, it just becomes part of your practice. Like you don't even think about it anymore. And that is my desire. Like when I do sneaky stuff with you guys, my hope is that you'll like internalize it. It'll just become part of your process and you won't even think about it anymore. It won't be hard. It won't be easy. It won't even be a thing. It'll just be something that you do. I know one of my members said she was mixing colors on one of her lives. And somebody was asking her, like, are you mixing your own colors? And she's like, oh, I guess I am. So by me sticking with this color palette that I've made here, let me see, regardless if I'm using the color by itself or if I'm mixing it, like everything's going to feel cohesive because I'm using the same colors over and over again. Um, this wing is a little bright. I think I might want to neutralize that just a little bit. What do you guys think? Should I leave it bright? And if I were going to neutralize it, because I don't know, I think I am. All I'm going to do is the opposite of this is going to be this color, but I don't want it to be like really heavy. So I can go in and basically make a glaze of this color. And I'm just taking the GAC and I'm making it super thin. And then I'm going to go in over the top and it's just going to knock it back a little bit so that it's not as bright. And I'm going in with super thin layers and I'm not adding a lot of paint, but I'd rather start really thin and maintain control than to go in with too much pink right away. And then all of a sudden, you know, it's not what I want it to be. That deepened it a little bit so that it's not as bright. I don't mind the blue, but it was like blue. I don't, nothing else is that bright. I'm going to pull the bag down this way. Okay. This project is a little hard because I pull in tighter. You guys better what I'm doing, but then you won't be able to see the whole project because it's really taking up my entire workspace. Let me find a brush that's kind of big, but not really big. I kind of want an angle brush, but that one's not big enough. Maybe. We'll start with this one. We'll see what happens. So I know that what I want to do is I do want this color to be more opaque. So I'm going to pull out my opaque white. And I think that I'm going to go ahead and just mix my blue in here because there's going to be enough. I mean, I have a whole bag to paint. So yesterday, this was the paint that I already mixed with the GAC 900. So it's already mixed in. I'm just adding a little bit of blue. And I'm going to go in and paint around everything so that it feels like one painting and not like, some different elements that I've put together. And I'm going to start out with this base coat of really light paint. And you guys see how I'm getting way more coverage? It's because this is an opaque paint, so you can't see through it. You kind of can, but not really. And if I have areas where I want it to be darker, I can go in and I can just glaze over this. So if you're someone who's painting and you're a little nervous about it, working with transparent layers really does give you kind of more control over your final result. Because you can start lighter and then you can build darker colors on top, especially if you're working in transparents. When you start working in opaques, it does work a little different, but we will get there eventually. And I removed a lot of her paper, but I'm just going to remove the rest. I'm going to paint right over it, I guess is what I'm saying. I'll be painting all year with that brush. And we do not have time for that. So I'm going to go with the bigger one. And then when it gets closer, I'll go in with another brush and get closer to everything. But I'll use this one so I can get more coverage quicker. Can you see the bird now? I guess I really haven't painted a bird with you guys, have I? There's a guy that I follow on YouTube. I'm gonna have to If you guys are on my Word on the Street channel, or if you are follow me on YouTube, I have a community. I'll put a link to his channel. So I am crazy. I am completely. When I get interested in something, I like hyper focus and I want to know all the things. So if you're not that person, you may not be interested in this information. But if you are that person, then you may be. And so I am painting some birds for our holiday release. And I really wanted to understand the anatomy of birds in order to paint them. Not that I needed to, but I kind of felt like the birds I were painting were flat, and I just assumed the reason why they looked so flat was because I just didn't understand the anatomy of birds. And so there's a guy on Facebook that I've been watching, and he does like you know how you see the old nature journals where someone's out and they do like a quick sketch before the bird like flurries away and they have like notes on their paper. um he does that kind of art, so they're actually like basically documenting wildlife, but his explanation of the different feather groups and like it's just so interesting, and it really does help you to see the birds in a way I think that will help you be able to paint them. So I will make that available to you guys, and then if you're interested you can check it out, and if you're not you can be like, that's too much, Royce, I'm not doing all that. And you don't have to, you can just look at it. His head is that color, his belly, his tails. But understanding how something is made or why, right? We love the why is really helpful when you're trying to replicate it. When I first started taking my art classes, my husband says to me, you know, if you just painted the whole anatomy book, you would be so much better. Yeah, I know the thought of doing that made me want to throw my mouth a little bit, right? Like there are some parts of art I am just not made for. I am not made for measuring and making 1-inch grids that could hire my entire canvas so that I can draw something correctly. I'm not made for that. I am not made for going through an anatomy book and drawing everything in there. I'm not going to do it. That's why I like the art program that I'm in, because I feel like it's made for people like me. And I am not for those art programs that make you feel like you're Karate Kid and Mr. Miyagi is having you do a whole bunch of random exercises and you never get to see them at work. Like we do those, but then right after we get to use them in like a project. So you're like, oh, okay, I understand why, that makes sense now, as opposed to going like months and months just doing random exercises. I guess you have to have faith that it's going to come um, to a place where it makes sense. I don't have patience for that. Mm-mm. So Sharon, I'll message you the information on my program. And if you want to chat about it, we can. It is an investment. I'm not gonna lie to you, but um, we can chat about it though, because I really do believe in it. I started, just so you know, I started last March in that program specifically, and that's where you've seen a lot of the growth in my work. Is where that's where it's come from. I want to put a little blue up here, but I don't want to lose all of my music notes. So I think I'm just going to carve out my flower and then leave the rest of the music notes kind of there. So I'm going to do like this, and then I'll come back in with my smaller brush and paint in closer to my flower. I just wanted to use this big brush to cover some of these larger areas. What do you guys think so far? Yay or nay? Would you carry this bag? Or maybe you'll make your own bag and you'll make it like exactly the way you want it to be. And again, I like we're painting fabric, we're decoupaging fabric, but I do want to talk about the limitations of this product, right? Like I wouldn't paint, like I wouldn't decoupage a dress and then think that I'm going to be able to like launder it. Like not. This is going to work because I'm going to carry my bag and it's going to be mostly flat most of the time. So I don't want you guys to think that you can like decoupage any fabric and treat it just like fabric, and that it's gonna work like that because it's not. So I don't want to mislead anybody, I guess is what I'm saying. Girl, Paige, I'm still here, and I'll probably be here for a little bit longer. These were supposed to be quick crafts with Royce, where I came on for like 25 or 30 minutes and did a quick project with you guys, and then that was it. But my first one I did, so the one I did on, if you want to see a quick craft, January 2nd was quick. That was the last one. But this is my thing. If I'm going to do this for 30 days, it really needs to be something that I'm excited about. I mean, not that it's all about me because it's about you guys too, but I am just not good at showing up um, to be creative if it's not something that I'm truly excited about. So if I would show up and just decoupage something flat every day, I probably would have already just fizzled out. I really wanted to do some projects that challenged me creatively, right? And that showed you guys some real possibilities for your creativity as well. Because we've done a lot of experiments. I tell you guys all the time, I don't know if this is going to work. We're going to see. We are going to see together. And I am not pulling your leg. I do not know a lot of the time. This one I'm pretty confident about. Um, I do think that perhaps if I were to do this again, I would not have decoupaged this all the way to the edge. I think I'm going to try to trim that. I would come in just a little bit on either side so that the paper is less likely to get caught on the edge, you know what I'm saying, and get torn somewhere along the way. So when you do yours, like bring it in about a half an inch from your edge, if that makes sense. So this white is more opaque than the um, transparent white, but we can still see underneath it, which is kind of cool. And so I'm painting over this, but then I'm like dabbing it off. So that way it looks more organic and it doesn't look like I'm leaving a line, like I'm cutting out my flower and then leaving like a really geometric line there. It looks like it just kind of flows into the music sheets a little bit better. And I know it's hard for you guys to see once I start painting white. Let me turn this light down a little bit. Maybe. Is my mic going to let me go that far? I'm going to turn my light a little bit darker because I think you guys will be able to see better if I do that. I'm going to try to do it without taking my mic off. So y'all hear some crash and booming. Y'all know what happened. Okay. The white balance on this camera is just not good and it struggles. Is that better? I think you guys should be able to see like what I'm doing a little bit better because the white isn't washing out. Oh, thank you, Paige. So Paige is asking if I could use my sanding block. I could. That would be a good idea. Just make sure your paper is dry before you do that. I mean, and you could sand like once you're done painting, if you wanted the whole thing to look kind of more shabby and older, um, you could. I would use like a 300 grit sanding like pad, not like a really rough sanding block, but you could sand over the whole thing. Like if you wanted it to look more worn and not look so new, that would actually be a really good idea, Paige. I'm going to bring it up because I want to show something to you guys. I think is very interesting. The canvas has texture and it's kind of making the edge of the decoupage paper like indiscernible. Like you don't see a distinct edge of like where the paper end. And I trimmed it pretty tight, but I expected the edge of this flower to be more evident. Now, her edge is more evident, um, but I don't know if it's because I need to go back over because that green is kind of peeking through a little bit. And I don't know why I'm going back over it again because we all know if the paint isn't dry, all I'm doing is moving it around, right? But I should have taken my time and carved her out, but I didn't. And she was already adhered. So, and I think it's probably a good idea to allow your project to sit overnight before you come back with like all this moisture, right? So decoupage and then like let it rest overnight and then come back and paint because if the moisture gets under there, I'm in my holy imagination, it could affect the adhesion if your decoupage product wasn't really set in place. So I'm gonna dry this. I think I'm like it's full right now. I don't know how much I can do, but it looks like it's all one piece. I still need to do another layer because you can still see that green peeking through. But look at the flower. Like, do you guys see the edge? It's really, you really can't see it, right? It's interesting. I thought it would be more noticeable. The bird is behind the. Okay. Can you guys see the bird now? Oh, really? So it's not mirrored? Let me see something really quickly. Um, oh, it won't let me do it while I'm here. I thought that so it's not mirrored. That's interesting. Okay. There, I'll pull it down there. Is that better? You guys can see the bird now? A headless bird. So when I'm looking at it, I my face is on this side. And so for you guys, my face is here, is what you're saying? Okay. So I think you guys can see him now, right? Oh, I can move my camera too. I'm being a little bit of a dork about it. Here, let me do this. And you guys can tell me if you can see him now. Okay. I'm going to dry this. It's 127. We're not awful. We're going to be a little bit over today. I mean, you guys are welcome to come back. You don't have to hang out for the whole time. I know it's long. And I know Beth is probably gone because she got work to do. Okay. Hey, Peggy. And so I want to point out that, like, so you guys have seen me use this flower like this, right? On a sap bucket in our art journal, on a clipboard, and now on a bag, right? So it's essentially the same process, just different surfaces. So if you've seen me do a project this month and you're inspired by the process, just know that you're not limited to whatever surface I'm using. You can make it work on whatever surface you want to. And you're not even limited by the specific designs that I'm using. You can use whatever designs you want. You're not limited by the colors I'm using, right? You can use whatever colors resonate with you. And so to me, the part that's the most important is the process. And I would probably teach process more than project more, but I know that you guys love projects. So I need to carve her out a little bit better. But because everything is wet, I'm just moving the same paint around and around. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but that alphabet is still peeking through. Those stamps I put through, you can still see them. And even though I painted this blue, the music sheets are still showing through. So all that stuff that we put on the back, it's not like front and center, but it's still like it's supporting everything else because it's still there. And I still need to put some more colors in here. Maybe I should put that weird green what we made. Or our birdie before it dries. And then our orange. It looks yellow, doesn't it? I should be drying while I'm doing this. And so we did use a color for the beak that has like a lot of this color, but also a lot of that. I have these squares down here, you guys. So I'm trying to figure out what colors I'm going to put in them. And when I get done with this, we're going to run out of time because I need to make sure that this is completely dry before I want to go over it with this heat bond liquid vinyl. And this is what's going to make it like usable, right? This is the product that's going to lock all this in behind like a whole layer of basically vinyl so that you can use this and not have to worry about um, any of your work being messed up. But I really need this to be completely dry before we put the vinyl on there. So I'm thinking we'll finish painting as much as we can for the background today. Tomorrow is the release of new designs. So we'll be doing something completely different. But on Thursday, we can come in and I'll just bring this back up. And all we'll be doing is doing this step. So we would put it on the heat and bond liquid vinyl, letting that dry, ironing it, and then we'll make a decision about how many layers we want. So based on what I've read about the product, because this is an experiment, I bought this, let's see, I don't even know when I bought this, a long time ago. And one coat is water resistant, two coats is waterproof, three coats is like an oil cloth. And you guys know like the tablecloths your grandmother had, like that. And so I'm thinking that we want this to be an oilcloth, right? So it can be super durable. Faded fence, yes, you can class online. It's called Faded Trisha's asking if she said I mentioned my decoupage class, an in-depth decoupage class, and I do have one. It's called Decoupage with Confidence course, and it's available at roycycledacademy.com. If you go on there, I think the first thing there right now is a retreat, but you can scroll down and you'll see the Decoupage with Confidence course there. And if you guys are looking for Roycycle decoupage paper, you can find them at roycycled.com. And I want to go in with another, I just want to do some finish work because I need more layers around her. Um, and I do need to go in tighter in some places with a smaller brush, but I don't want to bore you guys. So y'all let me know if y'all tired of watching me paint. And every time I go around her, I don't want to just go around her, right? I'm doing that, but then I'm feathering the paint out. So, it doesn't look like I just painted around her. And you do want to make sure that you double check that everything is adhered well before you start adding all this moisture and painting. So we talked about earlier about how you can use glazes to make things like lighter or darker. And ironically, this is the opposite of what it should be. Not should be. So I always forget the name of it because I want to say something else. Um, I do. You can find them. You can buy direct at roycycle.com or you can find recycled retailers on there as well. I do encourage you to buy if you have a retailer to buy from them, but you can buy on the website now too. I have a little bit of yellow in my brush, so I have yellow around her. Maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing. Ooh, I should make like a halo. No, that wouldn't work right now, but maybe in a future project. And again, I should have trimmed her better and I wouldn't have to spend so much time camouflaging the paper around her, but you know, hindsight. So what I was going to show you guys is how I want to dry this because this is darker. So really, I would like for my paint around this to be a little lighter. She's lighter, so I would like the paint around her to be a little bit darker. So I'm going to show you guys how I would go about making it darker without having to read all over again. I'll just show you here for the sake of instruction, and then I'll fix it later. So what I'm gonna do instead of like mixing a whole nother white and going in, I really love all this stuff peeking through and I want to kind of maintain that. So I'm gonna take my turquoise and I'm gonna mix it with the GAC and make a really thin glaze. And so it's easier for me to maintain control if I just go back, if I go in and just glaze this as opposed to like mixing paint all over again, right? To make this darker. So I can go in with a glaze. I can deepen this color if I want to, and which I kind of like it. And so now I can use glazes, which is why I like to start out lighter when I'm working, with transparent colors, is because you can always go over a lighter color with a darker color. But once you lay down a darker color with transparents, it's going to be harder, right? Because you can see through each layer. So because this was a lighter layer to begin with, it's easier for me to now go over with a dark glaze and just deepen that color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like use my brush until it doesn't have anything left in it. Know what I mean? And then I can blur the edges of this glazing so it doesn't look like just a blob of color. It's like transitioning out organically. And if I wanted it to be more subtle, I could just add more of the gack and it would be a much lighter glaze and it wouldn't be, you know, it would be a lot more subtle, right? You guys can see that. You can probably barely see it. And I need to paint in between my little paint swatches too. I could fuss around with this for an eternity, and I'm not exaggerating. But look at that glaze. Isn't that so yummy? So you can go in and lay in different colors. And even though I painted that, you guys see how the alphabets, the stamps that I put in earlier, they're still peeking through. The music sheet is still peeking through that, even though it's painted. I do have some more music sheets up top that are a little bit more evident, but it's still organic. It doesn't look like there's a line there. And so that's what I mean by layering. When you layer, you just leave. So someone can look at something from afar and it looks really cool and really interesting. And then when they come up closer, they find something else to look at. That's the fun part. And so that's why I love layering and adding different things to my projects. And I know I drive you guys crazy because you're like, you're covering up. But if you get really close, you can still see it. Thank you, Chris. Oh, no worries. No worries. And so I think that's all I have today, unless you guys had any more questions. Um, I want to go in darker around her because she's so light. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. And I know I say this all the time, but it's a God's honest truth. You can make more time, but you cannot. I mean, you can make more money, but you cannot make more time. So I really do appreciate you guys sharing your time with me. And that is all we have for today. I am actually headed out to the warehouse to get more orders out. Eventually, we will be caught up. I don't know when, but we will be soon. I have a couple of new retailers. If you guys are new and you came on right at the tail end of this launch, I'm so sorry. We're not usually this slow, but we get slammed with orders whenever we have a release. And so we're hoping to be caught up soon. Um, and I'm going to get off so I can stop. You guys see me? I don't even know when to stop. I have a problem. But once you start a project like this, it's super fun. Just warning you that you may find that you're going to have a hard time stopping. But don't blame me because I did warn you. But that's all I have today, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me on my experiment today. And I want you guys to remember that give yourself permission to play, to experiment with your project, with your processes, and just with your products and just see what happens, right? If it goes awry, it's not the end of the world. And you may actually find something that you love more than what you anticipated or what you for originally. So, like I always say, where experimentation goes, creativity follows. You guys have a blessed day, and Lord willing, I will see you guys here tomorrow with the new Roycycle decoupage papers. And if you're looking for papers, you can find them at roycycle.com. Thank you guys. Have a good day.